Welcome to our Hatha flow this week. We'll be starting seated today, so have any props nearby, either traditional props like blocks and straps and bolsters, or any makeshift props that you might have, especially something to use as a strap. So either a belt or a long towel or a tea towel. Or anything like that. Okay, I'm going to make my way to my mat and we can begin. All right. So as we get started, we're going to start to settle into the body. Start to settle into your room, onto your mat, into your breath. Notice your inhalations and your exhalations. Notice the path that the breath takes. And start to find those moments of quiet where you can bring your attention to your breath. Again, even for a moment. We set the intention to meet our bodies where they're at, to move within a pain-free range of motion, and to really be present. Being present helps you get into the shape that your body on that side wants to be in at that moment. So instead of what you think you should be in or what the other side looked like, and that goes both ways. It'll allow us to make sure we're not forcing something to the point of pain or breathlessness or dizziness, but it'll also ensure that we're giving ourselves the challenge that our body's craving, the challenge that leads to growth. This week, my theme is quiet. I've had a very quiet week, and being able to sit or even move with this sense of quiet allows you to really tune into the power of silence within and without, and to tune into the messages that we have at our disposal all the time, the answers, the clues. Slowly, we're going to start to move the body. We'll take the arms out beside us and inhale, reach them up on an inhalation. And exhale, bring them back down through the center. How do we find this quiet? We get into almost a meditative movement in our yoga practice, where the body feels like it's starting to move itself. We're going to sweep the arms above 2 more times, just getting into this little meditation, the stretch up and the drawing back in towards yourself. 1 more time. Pause here, set your own intention for the class. Interlace the fingers in front of the heart. And then as we exhale, press the palms out in front and curl. Inhale, reach the arms. We'll do that 4 more times. Again, just getting into the repetition of the movement, following your breath, and noticing that even in movement, we can find that peace, that quiet within. It's the focus. Last time, reach those arms up, hold them there, and let's just hold it here. Every inhalation, we press the arms up, shrug the shoulders. Every exhalation, we let the shoulders fall. 4 more of those. And after this last one, we'll let those arms fall down. Walk the fingertips kind of behind you to really open the collarbones and lean back a little. Feel the chest expand. And we'll come into a little bit of movement here seated, taking any props out from underneath. Bring one leg into an external rotation and one into an internal rotation. Both are bent to 90 degrees into deer pose here. So that hip that's in external rotation, it's likely up off the ground here. And then with our arms, we're going to start to sweep semicircles around us. So starting with the right arm, we sweep it around to the left and then open up the chest. And we'll go the other way. Sweep it to the right. Let the left arm follow and open. Let's do that 4 more times in each direction. Starting to wake up a little bit more of the upper body and even the hips, getting into some of those hip rotation muscles too. We've got 2 more to each side. Beautiful. Finding the flow and finding, again, the meditative aspect of repetition. And after this last one, come all the way up and then switch legs. So one internally rotated, one externally rotated. We'll take the left hand first this time, trace a semicircle around us, open up, and then back the other way. And then we notice the difference between sides. And we accept it. And just keep moving with the goal of finding that movement, of reconnecting our nervous impulses with our muscles, of reawakening these areas that get tight and numb. in the areas that get understimulated. Got two more in each direction. And after this one last round. Beautiful. Coming all the way up, taking the legs out in front, giving them a little shake. And then coming over onto hands and knees. Hands are set under the shoulders, knees under the hips, 5 times cat and cow, finding some flow within the spine. We've got the spinal cord running down the center of the body and all of the nerves come out from that center point. So it makes sense that when we get tight around that spine, when we start to lack movement, we don't get that optimal connection between the brain and the body. So we move, we bring the focus to that movement, to the quiet within, and start to feel alive, start to hear more from all parts of the body. Come back to neutral. And then we're going to come back into kind of a almost like a puppy pose or half child's pose, coming back, shifting those hips back and inhaling, drawing the heart forward. And 4 more of those. Just getting a little bit more flexion through the hips. Warming up the body. 1 more. Beautiful. Come back to center, curl the toes under, and this time come up into a downward facing dog. You can walk it out, bending one knee then the other. And then we're doing a similar type movement here. We bend the knees nice and deep and draw those hips back, and then rock it forward. If that is not available to you, you can come back and do the one in child's again. So bend the knees and come forward. 4 more of those. Bend the knees, hips back, and rock it forward into a plank. 2 more. Last one. Beautiful. Downward dog. Do whatever you need to do here. And then slowly start to walk the feet up towards the hands. Bend the knees as much as you need to. First forward fold. We're going to, again, pump it out a little bit here to get into some repetition, but also start to wake up those hamstrings. So maybe your hands need to come to blocks. Maybe your fingertips can come to the floor. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Bend them quite deep. And then with every inhale, we're going to press into our feet and just lift those sit bones a little. The legs don't have to come straight. Just bend and lift. 4 more of those. Press into those feet. Beautiful. And then fold, shake the head, let the arms go, and slowly roll up to standing. Finding some length, finding some strength, finding that tall spine. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, fold forward. 2 more of those. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And fold. Last one. And all the way down. Beautiful. Hands to shins or thighs. Look up, press the heart forward and fold. 2 more. And last one. Beautiful. Fingertips to the earth. Step the left leg back behind you. Bring that left knee to the ground or to a mat, or fold the mat over, or a blanket under there for cushioning. And we're going to come into our hamstring flow here. So you might need something to prop your hands up on. Coming onto the fingertips helps as well. And then with every inhale, we're going to shift those hips back, pull the toes towards your nose, and then come back. So just explore the range of motion. You don't have to fully extend yet. And as we get into it, maybe you can go a little further, but just go nice and slow. 2 more. And after this last one, we're going to hold that Ardha Hanuman Asana. So toes up towards the face, extend that front leg, try to draw that right leg into the hip socket so that you can have even hips here. You'll really feel this in that hamstring. And just breathe there. And then slowly bend the front knee and step back to a plank pose. Plank pose can be on the hands and knees, it can be on elbows or on toes, any of the above. And we find stillness. Notice how movement, how breath quiets the other parts that keep our lives a little noisier. And then drop the knees down and come all the way down to the floor. We'll come up onto our fingertips, bring them wide off the mat, elbows up to the sky. And as we inhale, we'll peel the heart off the mat for a spider cobra and come back down. 4 more of those. So lots of movement in this first part of the class. Just reconnecting to every single joint, every single muscle, and getting them fired up. Finding that ease. After that last one, hold up in your spider cobra. Let the hips be heavy. Let the thighs be heavy. Let the tops of the feet tap onto the earth. And then all the way down. Come into your downward dog, or perhaps a child's or a puppy pose, whatever calls to you. We're going to do a little bit of a back line of the leg stretch here, taking the right foot and kind of hooking it behind that left heel. Imagine drawing the heel closer towards the earth. And then switch those left toes behind the right heel, and imagine just very gently coaxing it closer to the earth. And then releasing. Left leg is going to step forward. It might not get all the way between the hands. You can help it forward a little more. And then the right knee comes to the earth or your cushion. If you need blocks or props under the hands, toilet paper rolls work too, books. And then we inhale, shift back, draw those left toes towards the face and forward. 4 more of those. So we start to notice again the difference between left and right. And just keep finding the movement, opening up the spaces. Getting entranced by your own breath, your own body. After that last one, hold Hanuman Asana. Right hip right above that right knee. We draw that left leg in towards the hips, left toes towards the face. And we hold here. You can always fold deeper over that left leg. Find some evenness in the hips. Some freedom and length through the spine. And then bend through that left knee, pick up the right leg and step it forward, forward fold. We're going to pump out this forward fold again, either on fingertips or on blocks. Bend the knees and press. You may find that you can straighten the legs a little bit more now. Imagine 2 strings of the sit bones, drawing them up toward the sky. 2 more. Beautiful. And then bend the knees nice and deep, coming into our first chair pose. Hands at the heart. Hands reach out front. And on the exhale, we swing them back. On the inhale, we draw them forward. You might bounce a little. You might go faster. For 6 more. For 4 more. For 3, 2, and 1. All the way up. And fold forward. Beautiful. Look up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, step that right leg back this time. And you can bring it to the ground or keep it off the ground this time in a runner's lunge. We're going to work a little bit right in this runner's lunge, coming either onto fingertips or onto props. Enough so that it feels like you can access that long spine and strong legs all at once. Draw the legs towards each other. Press back through that back heel. Activate that back thigh. And then bend through the front knee so that the front knee is right above that front ankle. And then hold here, reaching the head forward, stretching out through the legs. And now 5 times, we're going to bend that back knee to almost the earth and then press it back. 4 more. 3 more. 2. And 1. Beautiful. And now either coming into that half splits again, or this time a modified pyramid by walking the hands back, pressing into the front foot and extending that front knee. So the back heel is still off the ground. We can look forward and lengthen the body, draw that left hip in towards the center of the body. And then maybe we fold a little deeper over that left leg. So again, you might have the back knee down and you're doing the same Ardha Hanuman as we did in the first round. Good. And then we'll bend through that front knee and step back into a plank pose. Holding here, finding strength and stillness, power and peace. And all the way down. Flip the feet over this time. Hands stay under the shoulders. Elbows stay drawn in towards the midline. Shoulders back. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale down. 4 more of those. On the last one, we hold that baby cobra, reaching the heart forward and up, drawing the shoulders firmly onto the back. And all the way down. Downward dog, child's or puppy. Beautiful. Right leg is going to step forward between the hands. And again, runner's lunge, with or without props. Powering up that back leg, making sure the right knee is right above that right ankle. Drawing them in towards each other and extending that heart further forward. Imagine a string at the top of the head, drawing you out past your mat. And then that back leg anchors you down. Feel the strength of that pose. And then 5 times we bend that back knee to almost the ground and press it back. See if you can do it without changing anything else in the pose. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. Beautiful. And now either with the back knee down, Ardha Hanuman, or extending that front leg, shifting the hips back, modified pyramid. Get long through the torso. And bend through the front knee and step that back leg forward. Fold. Beautiful. This time with or without a prop. Left hand comes underneath your face. We bend the left knee quite deep. And then as we twist to the right, that right leg straightens. And then other way around. Right hand comes beneath the face. Bend that right knee very deep. Twist to the left. Maybe that left leg straightens. And then back to center. Bend both knees nice and deep. Utkatasana, chair pose again, hands at the heart, hands out front, or maybe they're ready to start reaching up. For 5, get a little deeper. For 4, relax the shoulders. For 3, soften the eyes. For 2, feel the hips sink deep. For 1, draw the abdomen towards the spine. And come all the way up. And fold. Look up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fingertips to the earth. Left leg steps back behind you. Left heel spins down to the earth. And then we come up into warrior two pose. So you should be in a heel to arch or a heel to heel alignment here. Right leg out front, bend the right knee to about 90 degrees and power up that back leg. Arms will come out to the sides, and again, we'll flow. Flip the hands up to face the sky. And as we inhale, we're going to sweep the arms overhead, straighten the front leg. And exhale, come back down through the center and press out. Inhale up, exhale down and out. 3 more. Last one. Reach out, hold that strong warrior two, press that right knee to the right. Power up that back leg by feeling the entire leg from the hip all the way up through the outer edge of the foot. Activate. And now 5 times, flip the hands to face the side, the left here. And then we're going to exhale, twist, bring the hands together in front of you, and then draw back that arrow. Exhale, twist. Inhale, draw. Twist, draw 2 more times. And last one, spin those hands down, come on the back toes, press back into plank pose. Come all the way to the earth. This time, full cobra, whatever that means to you. So you could stay down in baby or start to press into the hands as you reach the heart higher and higher without shrugging the shoulders, without closing off the heart, without gritting the teeth. And then all the way down and downward dog. Left leg will step forward. And then that right heel will spin down to the earth. Come on up into your warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2 pose. Find that heel to heart, arch or heel to heel alignment. Bend through that left knee, power up the right leg, reach the arms out. Put the hands up towards the sky. And then 5 times we inhale, reach up, extend the front leg. Exhale, draw the hands down through the center and press out. Use the power of the breath to fuel the movement and the power of the muscles. One last one. And then hold that warrior two. Press the left knee out to the left. Power up that back leg. And now hands flip to the right side this time. And we twist on the exhale. Inhale, draw that arrow back. 3 more of those. Keep the legs as is. One last one. Beautiful. And then spin those arms down. Come on the back toes. Step forward to a forward fold. Bend the knees nice and deep. And come into chair. For 5, draw the ribs down. For 4, lots of weight in the heels. For 3, neck is long and mobile. For 2, shoulder blades on the back. For 1, smile. Come all the way up. And exhale, fold. Look up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fingertips to the earth. Step the right leg back behind you. Spin that right heel down. Come all the way up into your warrior 2. Reach the right hand down the right leg. Flip the front hand over, up and over for an exalted warrior. Keep that left knee bending, pressing to the left. Come all the way up. Straighten both legs and parallel the feet. So they're facing, the toes are facing to the long edge of the mat. Hands on the hips, and we're going to hinge forward. Prasarita Asana. Hinging to about 90 degrees, finding the earth or props underneath the shoulders with the fingers or the hands. Shifting a little bit of weight into the fronts of the feet, and then deciding if you need to go further through that forward fold, letting the head and the neck go. Walking the hands back, maybe in line with the feet, elbows bending backwards. Again, feeling those strings of the sit bones, drawing the sit bones up, zipping up the back of your legs. Finding some more freedom through the upper body. Walk the hands back under the shoulders and hands to the hips. Come all the way up. Now turn the right toes to the short edge of the mat. Bend that right knee and we'll come into our warrior 2 on this side. Left hand down the left leg. Right hand flips over, reaches up and over. Exalted warrior, right knee still bending and pressing out towards the right. Feel those ribs stretching, expanding. And then come all the way back up. Straighten that front knee. And again, parallel the feet. This time taking either hands, elbows, or forearms behind you, opening that chest and folding, hinging at the hips. Stop at 90 degrees, check in with yourself, and decide if you want to go further. Pressing into all 4 corners of the feet. Sit bones drawing up to the sky, head hanging. And then dropping those hands to the earth, spinning forward towards that left foot, walking into a lunge and back to plank pose. Come down to the earth, come into your favorite cobra, spider cobra, baby cobra, full Bhujangasana, and downward facing dog, child's pose, or puppy pose. The right foot's going to step forward. And then We're going to spin the left heel down and come all the way up into warrior two. Parallel the feet. And then walk them in slightly. Turn the toes out towards the side slightly. Bend the knees and drop down into your goddess pose. Arms up into cactus. Drop those hips down. Close your eyes. We'll get a little bit of movement here. Inhaling, pressing up, extending the legs. Exhaling, coming down. 4 more. Feel both legs working equally, pressing into all 4 corners of the feet. 2 more. And then come down into goddess again, this time holding a ball right in the center, an imaginary ball of energy. Every time you breathe, it glows brighter. Every time you exhale, you integrate that energy. Sink a little deeper, 2 more breaths. And then come all the way up. Spin towards that right foot and step back into a child's pose. Knees apart, toes together, hips come back, and we rest. Feel the hips heavy. If they can't come all the way back to the heels, you can keep them higher as well. Maybe even a rolled blanket or towel between the knee, behind the knees. You could come to puppy pose with the hips above the knees. Wherever you are, let the torso melt. Find something to rest the forehead on, whether it's a block, your hands, or all the way down on the earth. And slowly, we're going to make our way to our backs, making sure you have your strap or whatever you're using as a strap close by. Once you get to your back, let the knees bend, feet on the floor, knees falling in towards each other, and readjust, reacquaint yourself with the earth. Let the shoulders fall back. Let the pelvis be heavy. Walk the feet back in, hip width apart, knees parallel. We're going to cross the left ankle over the right thigh, open that left knee to the left into a number 4 pose. So you could stay right here, or if you need a little bit more, keeping that pelvis on the floor, keeping that sacrum on the earth, you could start to bring that right thigh towards you, either with a strap or with your hands. Keep pressing that left knee out to the left. And just try to keep that sacrum on the ground instead of pulling it up and off the ground so that we can really isolate in the hip there. Keep the left toes alive. And then find some stillness here. Bring that right foot back to the earth. Uncross the legs and go to the other side. Right ankle crosses over the left thigh. We find some evenness through the pelvis by rocking side to side, finding center, and then deciding if that left knee needs to come up, that left foot off the ground. Keep pressing that right knee out and away from you. And then slowly release that side. You can do whatever you need to, but between poses here, rocking side to side, giving yourself a hug. And then we're going to take that belt or strap or tea towel, and we're going to take it around the ball of the left foot. Bring the right foot to the earth so it can stay bent. For now, find 90 degrees or left, or even further away from your face with that left leg, and see if you can press it out straight. So even if it has to be quite far away from your face to press it out straight, go for it. Draw that leg back in towards you with the belt. And then you can decide if that right leg can extend to the earth. But it can stay bent too. And again, just like in number 4 pose, we want the sacrum, the pelvis grounded here. And wherever you've found, just hold it there. If it can start to come closer towards you, you could cinch up along the belt and draw it a little bit closer, but not at the expense of keeping that leg extended, pressing out through the ball of the foot. So again, if it's farther away than you expect, just let it be. Feel that entire length of the leg. Keep drawing that leg in towards the hip, that entire apparatus, grounding towards the earth. And then either bending the knee and taking the knee in the left hand, or taking your belt into the left hand and keeping the leg straight, we open that knee, that leg out to the left. Keep the right hip as grounded as you can to really get that inner thigh stretch here. And then come all the way back up to center. And we're going to take either the bent knee or the belt with the straight leg into the right hand and draw that left leg across the body towards the right side. It may come to parallel to the earth. It may not quite. Try to keep the left shoulder on the earth. And so you're rolling onto that right hip. See if you can keep the left side of the body long. And all the way back up to center. We'll do one more in the center here. See if it can come a little closer to your face this time. And then release that leg all the way down. Do whatever you need to between sides. And we'll come to the other side. So right ball of the foot comes into the belt. The left leg can stay bent, left foot on the floor. We find the right angle for that right leg in order to have both hips grounded. That leg is straight. And then maybe the left leg can outstretch along the earth. And we find a position on this side that can be maintained where that leg feels like it's being drawn in towards the hip socket, down towards the earth. And we're getting this nice long pull from the hip all the way out to the heel along the back side of the leg. As you hold it, you might be able to bring that leg closer in without sacrificing the length of the leg or the grounding of the hips. Take the bent knee or the belt into the right hand and start to open that leg out to the right as far as it will come. Keep that left hip on the earth. Keep both sides of the torso long. And then back up to center. Take the belt or the knee in the left hand. And then draw that foot over towards the left side. Draw the knee to the left side. Try to keep the right shoulder on the earth. Sorry, the left side. Yeah. And keep that length in the right side body. Come all the way back up to center. And one more time in the center here, seeing if you can get a little bit closer towards the face. Pressing out through the ball of the foot. And then slowly release. Do whatever you need to do to clear out the hips. You can do some windshield wipers. You can do another hug, some circles, some rocks and some rolls. We'll do one more pose here before final relaxation, bringing the feet about sit bone width apart, walking them as close in as you can to the sit bones, knees pointed up to the sky, feet parallel, elbows to the side, and robot arms, fingertips pointing up to the sky. We press down into the upper arms, into the backs of the shoulders, into the back of the head and the feet. And we lift those hips up into Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. You could hold it here. You could bring the hands to the earth, pressing with the entire length of the arm. You could interlace the fingers underneath the back of the body and walk deeper onto those shoulders as you keep lifting the hips up, up, up. And then slowly release down. Again, do whatever you need to do. If there's any other poses, calling your name before Shavasana, go for it. Otherwise, you might walk those legs out in front of you. You may have a bolster. You may come to the side. You may even come into seated meditation. Whatever your body feels like it needs right now to integrate the practice. Coming to stillness. Coming back to breath. Back to quiet. Notice what's happening in the body. Notice the state of peace of the mind, of your energy. And despite the movement that's happening within, notice the peace that lies underneath. Before you leave today, make sure you thank yourself for tuning into that quiet through movement, that moving meditation, how your breath and your body can actually help you find more quiet inside. And I hope this can continue through your weekend, through your week. I thank you so much for joining me. Stay in Shavasana as long as you can, as long as you need to. And I'll see you again.
Loka samasta sukhinam bhagavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free.